Well, hello and welcome. It's Thursday night, I think. I hope you're all well. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today. We always have lots to talk about. But I specifically want to talk about the fact that KJ came home from hospital with her son and went straight to a live stream, which I thought was pretty tacky. Those of you that were on yesterday would have heard me say that I was concerned that it was shunt related, and that if it was shunt related, it was quite serious. Well, it turned out it was shunt related. And I cannot believe they kept that poor boy in pain for 3 days before getting it looked at. However, here we are. So before we get into that, so hello everybody. I wanted to show you an update. Now, you would have seen that I posted a video about Ben Roberts-Smith and the court case that he's in. There's been a bit of drama, and this was reported on today. And this is going to be very interesting because this is going to hit the courts in June, and this is going to be one messy court case. So Ben Roberts-Smith allegedly threatened to sue his ex-wife over a defamation case. Now, apparently, it's alleged that his ex-wife was going to give evidence as part of his case. However, now his wife is going to give evidence for the other side about witness intimidation. However, it's been reported that he's threatened to sue his ex-wife if she breached the confidentiality agreement. And not only that, he will tear up their property agreement. So it's a very interesting case. So I'm going to try and cover up all the background before we get to June. So it's going to be a lengthy trial, and the federal court today heard lawyers acting for the media companies provide an outline of evidence set to be given by his ex-wife. When more detail was requested, they sought an agreement that he would not rely on the confidentiality agreement, but never received a response. He's threatening an injunction and to sue her for damages and to overturn a property settlement. And then his barrister said that they were not in a position to waive the confidentiality agreement. However, he'd like to cross-reference her to put to her that she is a liar. This is the ex-wife. And he suggested that the media company should rethink what they're doing because you can pay a high price to air a family's dirty linen. However, part of the case refers to an affair that he had. So there's going to be some dirty linen that is aired. So that is going to be a pretty messy case, which we will be following. We'll see how we go. The other thing that was very interesting today is Myanmar. So the Karen National Union rebel group, it's burnt down one of the military bases. And they actually burnt down one of the army's military bases. And so for the people that are fighting the military, they're considering that a victory. We don't know how that's going to happen. We don't know how that's going to play out. US senators are calling for Washington to impose more sanctions on the junta. So to the people, it is a victory. But I don't know what that means in the long term for them all. So hopefully that means only good things. So how are we going? Yes, Keijo only thinks about herself and not the health of her son. I mean, she did manic tweeting today as well while she was at the hospital. Look, I understand you want to take your mind off stuff as well. I understand that. Hospitals are horrible. And you know, I've been guilty of sitting at hospitals, and I don't generally sit there and tweet or Facebook. I generally just sit and read stuff. But yeah. Now I spoke to Harrison about his shunt because I was a little bit interested. Now he told me he had what's called a VP shunt. So this is the most common shunt that they use here. And what it does, this one has 2 tubes. So the pressure builds up into the brain, and then so it allows it to drain the pressure. Now what can happen, and this is a kid's house, so this is for, so it talks about when you need to call a doctor for your child with a shunt. So this is what is recommended. Has swelling, redness, or fluid leak from where the shunt went in, has a headache or stiff neck, has a fever of 100.4 Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius, has nausea or vomiting, is confused, very sleepy or especially cranky, has a change in behavior, coordination of balance, has a change in vision, eye movements, or can't move the eyes upward, is an infant and has a bulging soft spot, has pain around the VP shunt or its tubing, has a seizure. Now, Harrison generally gets a headache, he generally has a fever, and he generally vomits. Now, if you know Harrison, he's very, very active. And if he starts to go sleepy, if he starts to have these 4, there's no, we do not pass, his mum does not pass go, she goes straight to the hospital with him. So, so they're the signs that they say to look for. So I was really surprised. Now, one thing that she did say yesterday was that they were expecting a nurse, and I can't help but think maybe the nurse took one look at him and said, he's got to go to the hospital. Hello, Tamara. Christopher, always. Hello, Sheena. And tweet out with, oh, hello, Osbel. Headache with a shunt, red flag. Yeah. Are there warning signs lead up to some of these? No, sometimes they just hit. They might have a little bit of a headache. So if he complains of a headache, they just watch. But if it's a headache and one of those other things, it's a red flag. Sometimes it does come out of the blue. Sometimes it's something that lasts a couple of days. I mean, if he gets his head, like if he has a head knock or something, or he bumps his head or anything, then you're on high alert to watch. But I know with Harrison, if he goes quiet and he starts vomiting, you've got to watch him. And look, it's not matter, you know, it's then if there's a headache, you know, there's a few things. Oh, thank you, Shell Belly. I thought I would wear contacts tonight and see, give the eyes a bit of a see how we go. But I've still got the glasses mark here, so. She has a fragile child. If that was me in a situation, doctor would be calling her. Well, it was interesting when she said she rang the neurosurgeon and he said to come in and they thought it was a shunt malfunction, because I wondered last night, because I just know that, you know, the normal methods for headache and stuff don't work. And so that's when you start thinking about shunt malfunction. But anyway, so let's start off with Twitter. She did do her live on Without a Crystal Ball, and I think she said think she got something $60 worth of super chats. No need to wait for any nurse to come to my house. She's not all these things, been living with a child for 8 years. And what was really interesting as well is that they thought, Harrison doesn't have one that automatically adjusts pressure, but V does, and he has one that automatically adjusts, and so they had to do it with a magnet. But they think it was something magnetic that moved it out of place, and they thought it was the iPad. And so what happens when he gets home? He's given what? His iPad. I don't know. Like, I just don't understand. So this is, this was this morning. Well, just got off the phone with the neurosurgeon team. They were worried he's having a shunt malfunction because he's not responding to his migraine meds, waiting to hear back, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have us come to the hospital in to take images and rule out shunt before anything else. If it's a shunt malfunction, that means he has to have brain surgery. Usually it does. Usually it does mean brain surgery. This is Instagram at the moment. Wait, she was tweeting while... Yes, she was, Ginger Lee. She was. Yeah, we talked about it last night, didn't we? See, and I was right. And this is the other thing. Do you remember how we looked at Instagram and she showed the picture of how Jill Dillard was wearing a T-shirt that she had just purchased? And we said she'd probably be wearing that. She wore that today as well. Her post of her child makes me uncomfortable. But that's right, yes. The thing I have a problem with, among other things, is that you're sleeping on the couch with a blanket full of dog. Yes, that's true. Yeah, that is true. He's carefully looked. Yeah. Deep breath. Yeah. Well, guess what? I went and got triple shot iced coffee for tonight. Poor baby. Yeah. So that was the first one this morning. Then she went, update on a story I covered 2 years ago involving a daycare worker at a church in Greensboro, NC. Alison Saunders was charged with SA, toddlers at the church daycare taking photos of the abuse and sending them to images to a man in Great Britain. In November, she pled guilty to one of each for producing and distributing child SA. She was sentenced to 50 years in prison with 20 years of supervised probation. She's 25 years old. Swipe left to see her charges from April. So she got sentenced. Then she said, off to the hospital we go. You know, it's posting a photo of the... I'm glad I'm done with my exam. It's the weekend here. Yeah, wine ready. Yeah. She's like, yeah, I don't agree with that either. I think the head was under his arm. I don't think it was headless. She had a fight with her nurse over V's screen time. Yep. Get need for attention, sympathy seriously. The good news is my COVID weight gain hasn't affected my jeans fitting. You have this, Caddy. You are a great mum. Praying for you and your son, sending good vibes. I'm feeling the rage building. I actually feel like crying. This is awful, says Ginger Lee. And Shell Belly says she is unreal. Chapter 3 of Jeremy and Ginger's book is about life in the public eye. This is so disturbing. Jim, Bob, and Michelle allow strangers, fans, literally to come to their home and spend the night. Boundaries. One stole Ginger's diary. She was horrified, then chalked it up to slight discomfort she had to go through to get God's word out, and that God gave her hope through this. How about mum and dad not letting strangers inside their home and allowing them to spend the night? Maybe fans will get to see why they don't want to show their kids on social media. Honestly, when there is an emergency event, I might ask for a prayer, but not disclose minute by minute why it's happened. This is for attention. Christopher Fenwise, that's what I would tend to do. I might put up an update to say, hey, we're at the hospital, please pray, whatever. But selfie of Regine's, yeah. No, we're not done yet, guys. We've still got to get through Twitter. This is just Instagram. 2 sets of x-rays, a CT scan, a bunch of meds, still no idea what's going on. I'm going to miss that live stream with Ginger and Jeremy. Oh, well, my kid's more important. I just want him to get better. Hoping he's comfortable and your son get some rest. No news on the shunt malfunction. Hey, Susan. So it's a photo of the foot. I think that's the leg. All right. Can no one else get flashbacks from the NICU or the PICU when you hear beeps or pumps, or is it just me? The sound. I swear I get PST from these noises. The sound. Twitter or Instagram is not my. All right, I'm going to have a look now, Peter. She's talking about the Douglas Walt. Yes, she is talking about the Douglas Walt in the hospital. Huh. There's been a lot of that mentioned. A nurse is going to probably tell her to get off the dirty stuff. Hopefully. It's just... She sounds all giddy and happy, says Wind Whispers. I'm very upset with her, exploiting him for attention. What is wrong with her, says Pia. Is that... Yeah, that's his monitors. Shut up, KJ. Talk about how bad you feel for your son, but stop trying to make it all about you. Can you imagine the sight? Her kid in bed suffering. She's tapping her foot, taking selfies in the corner of the room. Yeah. So then we've got, this is the look of a tired mama. My goodness, the past 48 hours have been brutal. After countless tests, scans, and x-rays, we have our answer. It's never easy figuring out what is causing his headaches because he has so many neurological issues. My son's programmable shunt in his brain move settings. This shunt is programmed via magnet, meaning something magnetic pulled the shunt out and dropped it in a non-existent setting. It landed in the middle of 2 settings. When the valve lands between the settings, neurosurgery said the valve is completely open, meaning CSF is flowing freely with nothing being held in for reserve. His brain is losing too much fluid and making his brain dehydrate, causing low pressure inside, making him very sick, which explains why his meds weren't working. I did say this last night. My deepest thanks to amazing staff at the Children's Hospital, his neurosurgery team, for figuring out what was going on, fixing the issue, and hopefully letting us out soon. Hydrocephalus is a bee of an illness. Shunts are finicky, they break and malfunction, and their settings can move. I'm glad we have the shunt because the shunt allows him to live, but the lifelong battle with the shunt is the pain I'd wish no one, especially the pain the person with hydrocephalus goes through. The debilitating headaches that are nothing like I've ever seen. Well, you're not experiencing them. If you have hydrocephalus or have a loved one who has it, I see you, I feel you, I'm tired with you. It's a tough disease. I'm grateful modern science gives our loved ones a way to live. I just wish there was a cure. How is it fixed using the magnet? Same. This is the possible outcome. When it's just the shunt setting, no surgery needed. When it gets clogged, that surgery is needed. That video shows everything she says she will not do. Exactly. And be a mother for your son who's suffering. Hello, Trace. Haven't watched much. Yes, well, her son had to go to hospital. I can't imagine it, but she's doing it. Yep. Yes, a picture of herself, Christophe, always. About getting off social media and being a mother, talk to your family, your husband. But KJ, it's been so open about her dislike for religion, and so she would never ask for prayer. She doesn't believe in that, and frankly, to be honest with you, she's been so vile to people. I understand. It is like KJ sad fishing, all about me, me, me. She's all about those donations, badges, super stickers, and crusts. As I said, she got about $60 in her live stream. On that picture, you can see 2 red dots on her upper lip. Can you? Oh, yeah, you can too. Can you imagine being the child's doctor dealing with that idiot? She will be teaching him, says Busy Bee. Just going to park myself in the corner. Steam coming out of my ears. I can't believe he had to suffer for 3 days, though, before something was done. Just turning the other cheek. She's too much. She's been rude and nasty to people, and so many people have been nice to her, put up with so much prayer. Person that comes to my mind. I wonder how Todd feels about her, especially their child's. This is the kind of stuff you tell a trusted member or family. Look, she could be really big. Again, it's a lot of people don't know about it, and there is a way to advocate for it and a way not to advocate for it, and this is how you don't advocate for it. KJ doesn't need to go off social media. She needs to make sure when she's on, she spreads the correct message. Correct, Peter. A selfie, I'm done. Unbelievable. It's worse to have migraines involved in lynching. I agree. The thing is, if it lasted more than a day, like if it was towards the end, got half a day and the medication wasn't working, straight to the doctor. I mean, Harrison gets priority treatment because at the Children's Hospital because of his issues, so they know how serious it is. So he gets priority. In my mind, I know. No, I'm still here. I think, Jean. I think you've lost me again. This isn't Munch. They aren't because they aren't causing it. Notices usually notice behaviour that asks questions. Well. Glad there's no surgery. Sorry this happened. Wish they could check it remotely or via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi easily from home. My twin has hydrocephalus and the brain surgery when we were 7. Doesn't just affect the person, it affects the whole family. Wishing you the best. For sure, it's a family illness, but it impacts the person the most. Hugs to your twin. I think all illnesses are family illnesses. My mum has Lyme disease, and also she has sleep apnea, and it has caused so much stress for my dad and I. Smiling God. I'm in shock. You know what, Wind Whispers? That thought had crossed my mind. As I said, she'd said that there was a nurse coming. I wonder whether the nurse had come in and said he's got to go to hospital. And I don't know. I just find it very sad. Frida loves her new dog couch bed. She's so spoiled. Happy we are home. Yeah, great. I was a little warned. I see the Discord. Yeah, the thing, but I doubt she has either who can based on some of the. Well, actually, in her live, when she gets home, she talks about how she put her makeup on standing up. I would not have had time to put makeup on. My youngest daughter's now 21, had her left lung removed when she was 3 years old. It's awful. I remember my daughter was 9. It's just 9, and she had this. We went to the doctor, and they said she's got a virus. They gave She didn't get any better. I remember her birthday, she was still really sick. We went to the hospital. They said she's got a virus. And so, but she wasn't getting any better. I then took her back. It took 2 more doctor's appointments before they finally believed me that there was something wrong. So they said, give this letter to the hospital. This is the test I want them to run. They ran the test. She ended up having walking pneumonia. The poor kid had been suffering for 2 weeks with pneumonia, but it was only because I kept going and hounding the doctors to say that's not that we actually got to the issue. But oh, it's horrible. I don't even wear it. So, all right. So that was Instagram. Well, then we get to Twitter. Twitter is, so she goes, so she started off with this. Many people are discussing Gabby Hunter's mental health. I can say my doctor told me the worst thing a patient with ADHD can do is smoke marijuana because it strips dopamine from the brain that the ADHD patient already lacks, which then exacerbates the symptoms. She's told me repeatedly that marijuana should not be used as well because it can make anxiety and paranoia associated with ADHD worse. I used to be an avid smoker in my 20s, but quit more than a decade ago. My anxiety improved dramatically along with proper meds for ADHD. That's right. How about a bit of Alvino? Is that all right? I am son Adderall, but I drink every night will I be spanked. By the way, this is our Crescendo, and Crescendo got blocked. Crescendo is now in the blocked by Katie. It is not the case of what works for one person won't work for another. I've known a few people with ADHD that medicate, which is different ways to suit how it works. Yes, each person is different for sure. I'm quite sure her doctor also told her that mixing Adderall, which she has said that she takes with alcohol, is not okay. The total misinformation she spews out is astounding. Here is Zaggy. Now you're going too far. Meds people use for ADHD and other issues are compatible with drinking in moderation. Stop berating people because it makes you appear misinformed. You're also being very hypocritical. Hypocritical is not spelt like that, by the way, Zag. As you're doing precisely what you're criticising KJP for doing. Does she like being called KJP? We need to also stop judging others. Zag, a simple Google search will let you know that mixing the two is not advisable and you can lead to serious complications. I did my research, now do yours. This is Kevin Boy. It's detached. I think so. When you're forced to have it on. Yeah, see, I don't wear it either. She was taking her, and she put, yeah, apparently it would seem that way. My brother has ADHD and was on medication, and it worked for him. To argue with, yes, that's right. I will look at that shortly, Peter. I'll go there shortly. You had to look decent. Yeah, that's right. So sad fishing is when you are looking for sympathy, Trace. So, and you post for sympathy, and then people often will donate money to you. So this is Kev. Jealous slags creating stock accounts to harass a content creator under the guise of exaggerated complaints of her behaviour that's not even close to the narrative they're pushing. You should have done research on your own problem, which appear to be much worse. You should know, Kev, your main account is suspended, derp. It's a big... My accounts are me. We are not the same, Hunty. I got news for you. I know who you are, Kev. Tell Krusty to take care of her son. Internet drama is not for her. You're a truly disposable human being. You've said repeatedly meds work differently for each person, including marijuana. It calms down some people with ADHD, exacerbate issues for others. One can show empathy without disparaging treatment people truths. Criticise if you want, but don't diagnose. We aren't her, we don't know. I have to agree with you. Brain chemistry varies for each individual. What works for you may not work for somebody else. So that was the first post of the day. This will take us about half an hour to get through all of this, by the way. There's a lot. She even refers to reading Twitter for a break at the hospital to try and get her mind off things. Look, all the way down here, 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 down here. Right. Oh, I didn't even start at the start. Well, no, that was the first one. Yeah, that was that one. And then she says, waiting. She posted that. How about Gabby Hanna respects Trisha's boundaries and leave them alone? The fight is ridiculous. They're both in their 30s and there are more important things to worry about. How about you respect Tadi's boundaries before you get sued? Oh, wait. Is she seriously having a Twitter feud? Why is she seriously having a Twitter feud while she's at the hospital with her son? I have no idea what you're talking about. This is comical coming from you. Yeah, sort of like that. Yes, wind whispers. So that one. This is exactly what Gabby Hanna does, sharing feedback with her. She weaponizes messages sent to her. I do care about getting attacked. I have empathy for her. But she's gone so far now that I'm asking her to do better for everybody in the ADHD community. So now she's speaking on behalf of the ADHD community. Girl, I've had some serious issues with Angelique Oles for 2 years. She's cancelled me over the dumbest swear word and refuses to stop or retract. Gabby's response is to share private messages I sent to her, empathizing with her about the hate she has received in a means to humiliate me. I stand by my messages to her and have defended her publicly, but do not always agree with her. Girl, bye, you were caught in 4K. LMFAO, sis, no one knows who you are. Kev says you do. Caught in 8K, walking case study on global exemplified scale. Girl, that's not ADHD, that's narcissism. You aren't that important. Not really. I believe she acted narcissistic. I deleted the tweet because she has millions of fans that can harass me. Someone says it's called ADHD. ADHD-related behaviours in some respects mirrors traits associated with narcissistic individuals. In fact, some researchers said that some cases of ADHD could rather be instances of childhood narcissism. Such instances, though, most likely are not very common. You can screenshot saying the earth is flat. Don't believe everything you read, love. I mean, it was so unnecessary to private message her about Angelique, especially about a situation you were clearly at fault for. I'd not spoken about you in a long time. Maybe you should have done the same. But you deleted what you said about her to make your post, your DMs. Now that has got to be the most manipulative swear word in the world. She shared the DMs because you said something nasty to her. Deleting it won't get you out of it this time, Katie Joy. Because she has literally millions of fans that will come after me. I don't need that kind of chaos. I stand by the tweet. But you're more than happy to say that she's crazy while angering her and us even more for sharing DMs, even though you provoked. That's not right. In fact, it was a dumb move. You should apologize to Gabby and your audience for trying to manipulate them. She's crazy and LOL. Funny as you say this person is trying to manipulate when Gabby constantly does that. Have your fave address this. That guy hurt Gabby years ago when she addressed it at the time. He, of course, wasn't willing to admit the whole smash fad is so insulting and harmful to anyone. I'm confused. Didn't Gabby also make content like the smash or pass, like Mary Kill? I'm not sure at what point in that video he was You can't disagree with her. She will block you. You're not missing anything. This is Big Kev. I don't think Gabby needs to go on. I think Gabby needs to not go on social media after doing a line of coke. LOL. Just my opinion. So, hello. Well, so that was happening while her son's in hospital, by the way. Did someone call her out on being on Twitter? I'm not sure. Sorry, anyway. So, then we've got ADHD affects people differently. There are 3 types of ADHD, or many comorbids exist. With the diagnosis, people with ADHD do not all have the same symptoms or the same comorbid diagnosis. Claiming all people have rejection sensitivity dysphoria, which isn't recognised by the DSM, isn't true, whatever that all means. As part of the ADHD, I get to say KJ doesn't speak to me. Emphasising she's trying to jump on the bag. Hello, totally clueless. If a person shows up all fancy, I guess take you seriously. Well, that's right. I'm scared they will harass me. Community. Aside, Gabby Hunt seems like just generally wouldn't want to be her friend. Is KJ sad fishing? Yes, as usual. Good morning. Hello, Pearl Girl. Don't know anything about her, but I haven't read a lot of positive stuff. No, I haven't heard. Gabby is up to something. I don't know even who, and I don't care, not meaning to sound cold. No, I don't care either. She's addicted to social media. If my child was in hospital, I would not be verbal vomiting all over social media. She allows her community to like this. I said this before. She created this echo chamber. She likes to see people. Oh, she does. Yeah. Hello, Adele. Right. So this is why Gabby Hanna appears to me at times narcissistic. Thus, me calling that out. I have empathy for the hate she receives, but I don't like how she's speaking out about ADHD because I have ADHD along with my hubby and son. All of us deal with different symptoms because of it. Katie, you said mood swings were a part of ADHD because your family don't experience them. I don't agree with Gabby, but you have to notice how you both are doing the same thing. I said mood swings are not a common diagnostic. I'm pretty sure because ADHD is not a mood disorder. Many things you said can be considered ableist. Saying someone doesn't appear ADHD is ableist. And ADHD does include a mood disorder. You experience high irritability, highs and lows. People who have bipolar often get misdiagnosed with ADHD. Works the other way around. Just because you particularly do not experience mood swings as an ADHD symptom does not mean that other ADHD people are the same as you. Saying you don't look ADHD brings stigma. It brings the thinking that someone has to prove they have a medical condition. It's ableists. Oh. All right. So I think we saw that one. Yeah. Yeah, we saw that one. I deleted my tweet because Gabby has millions of fans. I have a mere fraction. She can unleash those fans on me. I don't want that chaos, but I stand by this statement. I think she's acting narcissistic. I don't know why people are mad at you, right? I have a strong feeling that you only turned on her and said this because she never replied to any of your messages and ignored you. Not remotely true. I have empathy for her, but I don't agree with how she's handling the discussion around ADHD. So is it ADHD or narcissism? Because you're literally villainizing narcissism as if it's a proper disorder, just like ADHD. Oh, this is getting KJ doesn't know ADHD is hyperactivity. Oh, hello, GTN opinions. Then she says, narcissism is an antisocial personality disorder. It's totally different than a chemical imbalance like ADHD. It's different. Her behavior seems narcissistic to me. It's not classified as a mood disorder. It's clearly listed under personality disorder. You shouldn't be speaking on mental health issues and linking sources when you don't understand them and can spread misinformation. Oh. I'll tell you what, I couldn't be doing this. Meanwhile, I'm currently at the hospital with my son, dealing with real life stuff. So I'm going back to that. I took a mindless break to take my mind off the stress of today, only to realize that some people really are who people say they are. Hope it can be sorted out quickly. Doesn't mean more surgeries. Sending lots of protective white light and strength. Keep strong, mama and dad. Me too. Back at the x-ray for second time, trying to sort out his shunt setting. It's been a long few days. Fingers crossed, it hopefully is able to be resolved with minimal invasive measures. I honestly can't imagine how hard it must be to watch your poor baby have to go through this. Make sure you get some rest and food as well. I don't want him in pain. He should have taken to hospital 2 days ago. Oh, thank you for reading this story. It's exhausting. Thank you, Busy Bee, for your super chat. It's really appreciated. I'm getting used to her mouth, but I just can't get over the fact that this is arguing like it's just an ordinary day while her son is in hospital. I know what it's like myself. I have full-blown migraines, but I can't imagine how painful it is. Hope they're giving him something to ease it so he's not in pain and can at least get some rest and relief. Praying for your little buddy. Hope your son is doing well. Thinking of you. Stay strong. Hope he feels better soon. Are you there? Are you there by yourself, or is Todd there too? Both are here. We are waiting on radiology right now. Hope he gets feeling better soon. Hope your son is doing better, Katie. Hang in there, mama. You literally just created this account to tell her this, but she doesn't already know. You people are desperate of any kind of attention. So this one, there's a tweet here that no longer exists. You people are so desperate for any kind of attention Katie can give. LOL, like for real. Get some help and a life. So there was a tweet there. I think one this time. Yes, that's right. He doesn't want Gabby fans. She kept talking about it. True. And you know what? She talks about it on her live as well. Seriously. All right. So now. So now we've got this. Someone claimed that mood swings did not happen with ADHD. I did not say that. I just said they are not common as a diagnostic item used. Some people have mood swings, but not all do. Common features are inattentiveness, impulsivity, and hyperactivity, which I grabbed from NAIM. Is that like a is that from a national, like, is that a national medical, what's NAM? Bug glass and like now trying to get she's very matched with the narcissist of Gabby. I'm going to the corner now till I calm down. I think, can't believe she's been tweets the whole time she's been. And don't forget, there's also you've got to coincide that with the Instagram as well. Don't forget that. She got home and jumped on the live. No, yeah. Yeah, I know, I hate it too. I hate reading Twitter anytime because people's tweets are private. And I thought, yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Did she honestly do a YouTube live so she could get super chats? It would seem that way, Peter. And it was interesting because that was something else that I said too. Because I said last night, not only did I talk about the fact about the shunt and him needing to be in hospital, I talked about the shirt that she ends up wearing. And I also said that if I was her, I'd do a live on YouTube so I could get super chats. And she did that. So hello, Katie, for watching me today. So nice that I give you all your ideas. I don't know if it's a support group. Yeah, it would be Drama Dumpster Fire of Godzilla versus King Kong. Right. Newsflash. You can have empathy for someone and not agree with them on other topics. It's called being a human. As KJ said on Instagram, the important thing was her genes fit despite COVID weight. As you judge, label, name, call anyone who doesn't think the way you do. You know, this doesn't just apply to you. It applies to all the people you attack as well. And Kev, Big Kev, says, word. Oh, thank you, Pia. You're smart. She might learn a thing or two, or we can help. Can we hire you Melbourne meeting? It was just bizarre. It's like the three things I spoke about have all come like this. Is it super weird that in my dream the Minnesota Vikings still can't win the Super Bowl? Like, where does this come out of? This has come out of left field. Thought she didn't like Super Bowl or sport. Girl, I've been praying for the Saints to win another Super Bowl ever since they did win. I'm so nervous about what's going to happen now. Breeze is retiring. Oh, she's blocked me from everything, GTA. She's blocked me from everything. But this is, I'm not actually signed in. So because she's got her account unlocked, I can view it. Dizzy B. Little Red was talking about a troll called Belinda who was going into her channel, Charlotte's and yours. Joe, she called you Australian Joe. Oh, that's nice that she called me Australian Joe. At this point in my life, I'm trying to give to people when I can. But my one rule is giving to those who don't ask. Exactly. All right. So she says, oh, look. Gabby Hanna botching about somebody sharing screenshots of their conversation, only to do the same to me days later. Botching. And she says, OMG, bitching. This is what she does and always done. Rules don't apply to her, just like everybody else is supposed to hold themselves accountable except Gabby. Her words don't add up to her actions. I wish the people around her world would stop enabling her and get some help. Even without a crystal ball appears clear, KJ has no room to talk of sharing messages. KJ promised a GV victim in their chat was off the record and then put it on blast and pretends she's an advocate, if you remember that. She can try to blame this on ADHD all she wants. I'm not doubting her having it, but there's a lot more going on than ADHD. I don't know how much more needs to happen before she's 50. If people around her truly care, she needs an intervention. Who are they talking about? Are they talking about KJ or are they talking about Gabby Hanna? I also wanted to share that I'm sorry she dragged you into this by sharing a few messages from you. I think it's pretty messed up that she wants to show people your DMs to try and defend herself, but didn't have the common courtesy to even respond to your messages. I have genuine empathy for her, and I stand by the fact that Angelica is terrible because she is. Can't believe Gabby Hanna tried to cancel you. The girl needs to chill out. She's just been a high school bully. Everyone is allowed to happen to have a different opinion than her, but when you don't agree with her, cancel you. Worry about your sick child, you POS. He's sick. You've tweeted nonstop while at the hospital. Take your stupid emojis and shove them. That sweet boy doesn't deserve such a self-centered POS mother. There you go. Somebody's just called her out. I'm surprised that's still there, actually. She blocked me before she got to. It's not even football season. Oh, really? There you go. I don't know what that stands for. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's that Belinda Paul person. All right. Shout out to all the emergency department nurses tonight. You are all amazing. This week, Kev is clearly total KJ. He claims to be from Louisiana, so why would he want a Minnesota team to win Super Bowl? I don't know. Hello, Tia. On his photos and found that was I don't know. Stop talking about 50. That's me. They call it being sectioned to be held. All right. I know somebody like really. Oh, 5150's been sectioned. Okay, I wondered what that was. What's a 5150? I don't know what we call it here. All right, so now we've got my son's programmable magnet shunt moved to a spot in between settings. Neurosurgery said the valve was slightly open with nothing to hold the CSF. The poor kid's brain was severely hydrated. They reset the shunt. Now his brain will have to replenish this. What was right? What was that about? Called out. What was above? I'll have to go back and have a look, Tamara. So prayers for your family. Yikes! So glad they discovered it quickly enough. Oh, Mama, so glad they would discover the issue quickly, and it's something that can be fixed without surgery. Oh my, OMG, poor baby. Hope he's on the mend. He had to suffer for 2 days though. Oh my, that sounds absolutely awful. Lots of prayers and well wishes. Big Kev, Big Kev. I call him Big Kev. Big Kev. I'm excited. Actually, I have to show you. I have to show you why I call him Big Kev. We had a guy that would sell products on TV called Big Kev, and his catchphrase was, I'm excited. Oh, my goodness. Well, at least they figured out the problem. The babies, he's not a baby. The baby's going to be feeling better as soon as the fluid gets back to normal, so I'm thankful for that. I can't wait to have kids. I'm going to adopt whenever I graduate from college and get my CPA. There's an article saying the iPad is known to have adverse effects on shunt magnets. KJ said, yes, and she also states that it could have been the iPad. Big Kev. I'm excited. She had a reaction when her hater broke. And yeah, that's right. So sorry, you all need rest. Remember to take care of each other while you care for that precious little boy. Peace and quiet for a few days will be good for you. We'll be here in a few days when you're all rested. Big Kev. I'm excited. Do you Aussies all remember Big Kev? And he'd wear this Australian flag shirt on his and then she's got here home. And then she's got, that's the link to her live the past 2 days. And then she's got LOL, Gabby Hannah's stands are coming to my channel, comments to cancel me. I don't even cover YouTube drama anymore. I talk about reality TV. I honestly follow YouTube drama out of my own boredom. So you wanted to look at this one. Oh, is that the one I messed up? Yeah. So the shunt is not any change can impact a person with a shunt, especially if the setting moves. I wonder if he's getting sick, getting it set right. Hopefully home. Sending positive vibes. Hope he feels better. His subs send love. His subs feel better, little guy hanging there, Mama. Oh, good to know they're making him feel better. Thank goodness for doctors. I'm so glad he's going to be feeling better. Same. Somehow the shunt changed. Big Kev. Guarantee she won't take any time off to care for him today. This little said a lady never tells her age. National Alliance of Mental. Okay. I remember you remember Big Kev on TV? Yeah. I'm excited. Okay. If she's tweeting during his ordeal, I would not have. No. Who has born with a medically fragile child? Take those emojis and shove them. I know. I like that. That was a good line. All right. That is Twitter, people. All right. So I actually recorded the live, so I don't actually have to give a review. And there I am. Woohoo! Hello. Yes, I got 1,208 people. So this is what it looks like for my studio, my YouTube studio. So it shows me last night's video, any comments, the views, the top videos, the published videos, the latest comments. There's my community tab. And then, yeah. So that's essentially when you go to your channel dashboard, that's what it looks like. So there you go. I don't mind. I really don't, because it's, you all have, helped support me, and so I'm happy to show you what it all looks like from behind the scenes, because, it's all of you that have put me there, that have helped me, so thank you. So I have no problem with that. It's what I call accountability. If anything, just don't tell Harrison, but you are all my boss. Harrison thinks I'm his boss. He thinks he will tell you he's my boss, but really, you are. All right. This is. Now, I don't know how much I missed. I missed the start, but I don't know whether she mentions, but she did talk about having her bags packed, and she had 2 red suitcases. So let's have a go. So as I said, this is still on her Facebook page, but I'm not giving her a review. So I'm going to do it from here.
It's just constantly flowing out, meaning your brain gets rid of way more water than it should have. So his brain was really dehydrated, and they had to come in and change the setting and put it at the right setting, and it'll take a while for all of that fluid to actually replenish. Typically, microwaves wouldn't cause them to actually reset. It's not a microwave, it's magnets, but they have to be pretty strong magnets for them to be reset. But yes, microwaves, not so much. Magnets, typically. But typically, we think it could be from his iPad, but we don't know.
His iPad? Time to unmute your TV. So it must have. She's laughing. I can't take her. Again, this is such weird behavior. I bet she was bummed when they sent. Yeah. So she had, I might have to go onto her channel and show you the first little snippet of it where she actually shows you the 2 suitcases. She follows YouTube drama out of boredom. She's the YouTube drama. Joe, we will not. We're not your boss. Let's say we're your producers. Oh, yeah. But
it's really rare that would happen. And obviously we don't know how it happened. So his valve was wide open.
You just said it could have been from the iPad. So we do know how it happened.
Wide open, and he was having serious headaches. So they were able to get it fixed, thankfully. So yeah, we just got home. I'm really tired. I haven't put anything out on this channel in forever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so much happened the last few days. Oh, Kevin, thank you. Oh, my eyebrows are on fleek. Your patience is admirable. You guys are great parents. There isn't a manual that tells parents what to do in every situation. So glad you're okay. Thank you, sweetheart. I actually did my makeup today standing up. And this is a funny story. Like, normally I'm sitting down when I do my makeup, and I found it easier to do my eyebrows when I was standing up because I was like looking at level. And sometimes I feel like when I'm sitting down, I can make them flatter. But when you're standing up, you can actually see the angle better. So
yes, she's talking about eyebrows.
I think my tip for the future is to do your eyebrows while you're standing up.
Yes. Big Kev gave her $50 and told her what wonderful parent she was. Okay, it's time to make more and draw so we can get what she's saying.
So anyways, long story short, it was quite a busy day. And my husband was an amazing daddy. Scanners on registers. Wow. You're getting a thread lift. Kevin's always doing something with his plastic surgery. So anyways, last few days I haven't been really online. I've been trying to I've been online doing stuff on like Instagram and just like Twitter and watching just random drama happening on YouTube. For some reason, I get really sucked into YouTube drama, even though I don't really cover it on my channel. But I always am like watching all the drama that's happening on YouTube. So that was keeping me entertained while we were at the hospital today.
So she was being entertained. Can you do a live? How do you do a live calling camera? What is needed? I used my own computer camera, a laptop camera for the first little bit. Used my laptop camera. I used StreamYard, and you just link it to your YouTube account. Big Kev, probably. How wouldn't I pack fit to shunt? I had a shunt only movement or pressure or something like that. Well, they've got new shunts now that have magnets, so they to do with center pressure. I don't know how it works. Oh, this goes for about 40 minutes. My husband was amazing because he did everything. I thought those code. Kev gave her $50. Yeah, she does watch. I know she watches me. Hello, Katie. That's why she needs to be off the damn net and concentrate on her son. And my daughter was last month. I wasn't on my phone. I was calling her dad to fill her in. There, she said she watches all the drama in YouTube, meaning everybody who talks about it. Yes. Hello, Katie.
But
everybody say hello to Katie.
I'm going to get Ginger and Jeremy's book tomorrow. The sad thing is that I was supposed to they had this like live stream tonight, but I couldn't be in it because we were at the hospital. So I missed my meet and greet with Jeremy and Ginger, although I'm sure I wouldn't have really met them. Oh, yes. Thank you, Heather. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time making this like stable. So long story short, you never really know what's going on. I saw they were on live talking to Jessa. I'm supposed to get a copy of the ebook tomorrow. YouTube drama is kind of like watching a train wreck. Currently been like watching Gabby Hanna fight with literally everyone.
Apparently, Gabby Hanna was fighting with everybody. KJ did a live, just maybe it was not her day to look after her son. Remember, she has days off. That's true, but he's sick. I have a feeling when KJ gets a hold of that book, she's going to read it during the post. Is that loud? I don't know that it is. Did she just fight with you, Jane? No, I don't think so. Just watch the steam under my ears.
And I was like getting a little bit irritated because she's like acting like she's the authority on ADHD right now because she's just been diagnosed or something and she's just going through treatment. And she's been like on Twitter making all these blanket statements about ADHD, like every person with ADHD is the exact same as her.
Thank you, Miss New, for your super sticker. It's really appreciated. Thank you very much. Again, with Gabby, I, for one, want nothing to do with the Dunstan fire that is GH. And I'm sorry that I keep rubbing my eyes, but my eyes are dried out and the contacts are because I've got the heater on. So I apologize. But as I said, I thought you'd want to, everyone kept talking about my eyes, and I thought I'd just, show them off tonight.
Which just isn't true. And so for a couple of days, I'll like read her things and I'll be like,
she does that. Yes, feisty lady, she is wearing that shirt. And we predicted it yesterday that she'd be wearing it today. This channel is so good for predicting her future behaviour. I didn't see what Rachel wrote. Let me just see if I can go back and see what Rachel wrote.
I'll be like,
why are your eyebrows so boxy? Oh, by the way, can you stop touching your nose? Oh, how much alcohol have you had to drink? That comment is going to get deleted. And she actually will delete a couple of super stickers as well. She has a... Sorry, Christopher, I just worked out what you said about, was she fighting with me? No, Gabby don't even know. No, I haven't been fighting with Gabby Hannah. Does she not realize that we know what she's doing with Gabby Hannah? Yeah, I got that comment. I did that. Why do you always talk about yourself in third person? You're not the smartest and you are an alcoholic and drug. I love Rachel. So I'll just read what Rachel said again. Why are your eyebrows so boxy? Oh, BTW. Can you stop touching your nose? Oh, and how much alcohol have you had to drink? Watch it go. Bye-bye. So someone says, so is the magnetic version better than mine, I wonder? So someone obviously has a non-magnetic, has a plain shunt. So KJ and Gabby sound like two peas in the pod. She's better mother to dogs. Okay, Rachel. Gabby Hannah knows that Aussies spar with kangaroos. She wants nothing to do with Joe. Oh, yeah, I have my practice. Well, one of our unofficial logos, one of our unofficial items is the boxing kangaroo. And it's yellow and it wears boxing gloves. So, yeah, I wouldn't mess with the boxing kangaroo.
I'm sorry. It is kind of like high school because I don't really know why they're fighting about anything. I don't understand, why they're fighting about everything. Which, I don't know why she's, on her Twitter, right, symptoms of ADHD vary from person to person, and, some people that have ADHD have different symptoms or they have more.
Someone says, so glad you're home. Know what the problem was with your son. Time for you guys to relax now that you're back home. Large glass of wine and feed up. You need it. I heard the kangaroos are fearless. So one would probably be, they probably would. Considering that they can fight each other to the death, yes.
Or they have more severe symptoms. And some people have like a milder form of ADHD. Some people have more moderate. Some have like debilitating, severe ADHD. Yeah, and like some people have anxiety with it. Some people don't have anxiety with it. Some people.
Isn't this just the opposite of what she was saying on Twitter? KJ wants to know why someone is on their Twitter. Why she was on, but wasn't she saying the complete opposite? Wasn't this what everybody was saying to her on Twitter? My pointer fingernail hurts from flicking her face every time she starts talking. Oh dear. Because I thought that this was the things that people were calling her out for. KJ will probably blame her viewers for encouraging her to drink. Probably.
Hyperactive. Some people are just inattentive. Some people have both. Some people have paranoia with it. Some people don't. Some people have intrusive thoughts with it. Some people don't. It's just so varied from person to person. Some people have a lot of like, they'll get like explosive or they get really angry. Other people don't. Like, I don't have that. My husband can get like, or my son actually can get kind of like angry really fast.
Was she going to say that her son gets angry? KJ is now saying what others told her about hate. Yes, that's right. She's one cocktail, Chris Spellman angry once when I was visiting Oz, went to Wildlife Park. So I got the tongue from Ken. She's the expert. I'm going to be driving for a while. We'll be listening.
But I don't get like that at all. Like, I've always been very even keeled. I don't get very like emotional about really anything. So it's just every single person that gets diagnosed could have like so many other things that are contributing to it that it's just not the same for every single person. But I just get frustrated because I'll like read her stuff and then she's got all.
So she's got another super chat. It's not much. Just know I appreciate what you do and all the hard work you do on this channel. I'm so happy little man is okay. Not emotional about anything, sure.
People that watch her and she's talking about all of this and I'm like, oh, you just got diagnosed. Like, give it some time. It's not much, but I know I appreciate all you. Oh, thank you, honey. You're so cute. Thank you. Thank you for your super chat. Azucena, you're so sweet. Yeah. So ADHD is just a mess. I have it. My husband has it. My son has it. All three of us have completely different symptoms. All three of us act completely different. All three of us have things that are like more effective than others. Like, I have anxiety. That's a byproduct. And my husband doesn't have anxiety like at all. I have not noticed anything with my blood sugar.
This misinformation is frustrating because there is a lot of stigma around it. I do know that people were reporting her for misinformation. Have you noticed KJ speaks in lists whenever she's trying to tell how much she knows about something? She starts listening. She does, doesn't she? She wouldn't. She probably wouldn't let me speak. No.
But she was saying that like all like the main factors of diagnosing ADHD were like mood, like having like moodiness or irregular moods or like mood changes. I can't remember what her actual vocabulary was. And I'm like, that's not actually a diagnostic of ADHD. Diagnostics that they look for are inattentiveness, hyper activity, and impulsivity. But she said like moodiness or something like that. And I was like, it's not a mood disorder. And then she said that all people with ADHD have like rejection sensitivity dysphoria, which isn't even a diagnosis. It's not even recognized by DSM-5 as like a classification for a diagnosis. basically some people that have ADHD apparently can struggle with being rejected, and they feel like really hypersensitive to rejection. But that doesn't mean like every person with ADHD is like that. It's not even like something that if you go to the doctor, they would even tell you about. Not even a therapist would even tell you about. Like the only thing that I could find about that was like from a magazine on ADHD. So I never had that. I don't know. So I don't know.
So someone says, my son has Asperger's syndrome, but neurologist said mood disorder when he was 8 years old. Gabby has no idea what she talks about, so let me show you how little I know. It's not a diagnostic of ADHD. Grandma, you are a journalist. Now, I can't speak. I've got no idea whether whether what she's saying is true or not. So I can't comment on what she's saying, but I do know that it's the complete opposite of what we saw on Twitter. The complete opposite. That's what I do know.
I think what she's doing is taking her experience with ADHD and then like saying that this is what all people with ADHD have. But
who else do you know that does that? I'm not inclined to take a medical lesson from her, just saying. KJ has previously said she suffers from rejection. Now she's saying she never has it. Does she even have ADHD? Well, she must have some type of rejection. Because look at how she deals with everybody that is against her. In my opinion, if she deletes the super chat message, then she shouldn't get cash for it. It's like she's saying, everybody sit up and listen to how smart I am.
Ever. Anyways, don't try to correct her or point out that she's wrong. Or she'll like sub-quote tweet you. She like quote tweeted me.
Don't try to correct her or tell her she's wrong. When Katie gets overly hyped on her Adderall, she gets into a phrase when she's coming down at night. I think that's why she looks all around seemingly paranoid. Super Chatter can request a refund from Google if that happens, says Tamara. I don't think Gabby just got diagnosed. I thought she brought it up during her last drama spat in the summer or even before that. Oh, I don't know. Is she talking about Gabby? She's talking about Gabby, but she's talking about herself, says Heidi. Well, that's what I'm wondering.
She's been misgendering Trisha Paytas by the way. Trisha Paytas is going by, like, their pronouns are they, them now. So Trisha is they, them. That's their preferred pronouns. And Gabby can't stop misgendering and calling Trisha.
Do you know how hard it is I know people like to have their pronouns, and I remember somebody in uni class wanted to be referred to as them and their. I was forever apologizing and it wasn't intentional. Every now and then I would slip up and I had to apologize to them. It was and they said to me, you know what? The fact that you've apologized means more than just making the slip up, because they understood that it's new. And that when you say that you want to go by a different pronoun, that it takes a transition time for everybody to get used to it. Like, it's not something that you can just, flick a switch and suddenly start calling everybody by their preferred pronoun. That Gabby's attacking Tricia with false recollections that are triggering her schizophrenia than the misgendering. It's hard to get used to. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because Katie will slip up here too.
Over and over and over again. And people keep like telling her like it's they, them. And she just keeps doing it, ignoring it. So I don't really know what's going on there. I don't know why I ended up in that rabbit hole. I don't know why it even interests me, because it's so high school and it's so stupid. So, long story, yeah, nobody with ADHD is the same. Like, there's things that are similar, and it can affect your executive functioning, but it doesn't affect everyone the same. And then if you have other things that are going on in your life, yeah, hypersensitivity can be a part of it, but it isn't like my husband isn't hypersensitive, you know? This is from 3130. It is.
Yes, that's the one that she showed with Jill Dillard wearing yesterday. So the question is, who wore it better? Who wore it better? So anyway, as I said, I can't talk about diagnosis and everything. I don't know about that. I'd have to do some research into it. Toad isn't hypersensitive. So Jill wore it better?
They, them is non-binary. It means you don't, I think non-binary means you don't identify as one specific gender or you're gender fluid. So rather than identifying as female or male, you're just more ambiguous, like they, them. Because I know with Trisha, she talks about how there are times where she feels, or they feel more male. And
here you go. She just did it. She just did what she was criticizing Gabby of doing.
There are times when they feel more female. So for Trisha, that's what makes sense to them. And it takes some time to get pronouns correct when initially you find out the preferred pronouns, but making a concerted effort to use the appropriate pronouns of that person is just the right thing to do. Non-binary is, Scarlett says, non-binary is male and female, doesn't fit with me. Okay. Got it. Well, good on Trisha. I was actually watching their video, and they're doing a ton of therapy right now. Super proud of Trisha right now. So I was, over the last few days, digging into Seeking Sister Wives. I wasn't sure if you guys wanted some more about that because there's definitely some drama going on right now with the Snowdens. So if you watch Seeking Sister Wives, it's actually on TLC. And it's not like Sister Wives, the TV show. It's like completely different because there are different people and they all, none of them, some of them don't even have anything connected to religion at all. And they just do this for like their thing. And there's like, they don't have rules. It's just very willy-nilly. And the Snowdens, have like a restraining order. The Snowdens restraining order was thrown out. I did not hear that.
In writing, I've seen the tweet where she said all three have ADHD. Yes, she said that in the tweets that we went through tonight, that they all had ADHD, and she said it in this live again. She's really driving me crazy today. So her son is sick. He needs his mummy and daddy to cuddle him. She prefers to drink and blab her mouth instead. It would seem that way, Vedandra.
I know that the one, is it the 28th today? I don't even know. There was something going down with the Snowdens. Apparently, Christy Lee actually took out a.
No, those super chats haven't come yet. Yes, and she should not be talking about that online borrowing meds. That's abuse. Wow. No, she hasn't deleted the super chat yet.
In order against them. Yeah, they are out there. But a lot of their exes say that there's. See, this is my problem is I don't even know what day it is. I haven't been asleep for 2 days. It's the 28th. Well, there you go. Christine took out restraining orders, apparently, according to someone in my chat, that got thrown out today. I think Vanessa has a non-disclosure agreement, so after third wife strikes out. Dissolved. Dissolved isn't the same as thrown out. Dissolved would mean
okay. Now we've had Dr. KJ. Where's Poppy? We're gonna have legal KJ. Now we're gonna get some law stuff.
the parties might have come to an agreement. And
someone says you don't look tired though. Whoopsies. This comment just here. You don't look tired though. Hasn't slept for 2 days, but needs to alive. Right, Misty, times I've been at hospital. Sometimes you just go, you just chuck. I remember putting on tracksuit pants and chucking stuff on, and I know one time I didn't even go with a bra on. Yeah, you just chucking stuff on.
might have entered into some sort of settlement, or they've agreed to just part ways, that kind of thing. So dissolved doesn't necessarily mean denied or thrown out. She could have withdrawn it, or they could have mutually agreed to something. That's okay. Sometimes.
So now the person's apologizing because they must have got it wrong.
A restraining order can get someone's attention. If somebody's doing things that are really terrible, the person that has the restraining order taken out on them will sometimes want that off their record, because obviously a restraining order can turn into criminal charges, and it's a lot because you can't do certain things while you have the restraining order, and it prohibits some restraining orders prohibit people from owning guns and that kind of stuff. So some people will work with
and then someone else says, you are right. Katie does not look tired. Why has she been up for 2 days? Can someone fill me in? So
the other party to come into in a mutual agreement where they can sort of move on civilly, to get rid of it so that it doesn't affect them legally. It's a lot on your record when you have one. So
delete, delete, delete. Okay.
I'm very confused by the whole seeking sister wife. So anyways, this live stream isn't meant to be very exciting. I'm sorry if it isn't. I'm sorry if I'm boring. I'm sorry if you're mad at me. But
why would anyone be mad at her? Oh, well, sorry. The only reason I am mad at her is because she gets home from hospital and she goes and live streams. That's what I'm mad about. It's the last thing that I'd want to do. Well, it could be interesting. I'm wondering what to do after I finish my music degree. I did sort of joke that maybe I should go do law and do become an entertainment lawyer, but I've got to do the full law degree. So maybe I could help him. I don't know. I don't know yet. I did wait to wrap a towel around to save it.
Tomorrow, I'm hoping to get back online. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get more out. I'm going to have Ginger's book. I've got some stuff to talk about from that. And yeah, it's been exhausting few days.
Boring is good. It's a good cap on 6 days away from work. None of the above. Sit back and relax. You look like you need some rest. She hasn't left online, though. Yes, Gingerly, that's correct. We're talking about getting back online. I'll be taking the day off to rest and take care of my son. I jumped on to say I saw a vid that V bought $1,000 worth of games. Yes, he did. Yes, hello, Silly Crow. Silly Crow, I sometimes miss the R, and I sometimes go to call you Silly Cow, so I apologise, but Silly Crow. She's getting off on this. A religious person will pants, so screw my son. Yes. Go get a job so this hot mess can get offline.
Oh, I feel bad. I feel tired. So Monday night,
please do not apologize. You have a lot on your plate right now. No reason to be sorry. I appreciate you coming on and giving an update. Don't forget to hit the like, people.
was awful. Monday night was brutal. Like puking everywhere, headaches, just pain everywhere. So much pain. He was in so much pain. I finally was able to get...
There's a super sticker.
Just pain everywhere. So much pain. He was in so much pain.
There you go. Sweetie, you're still beautiful even after being up 2 days. That's the wonder of being an amazing woman. So we're up to 70. She must have got $70 or $80 of super chats here. I agree, Silly Crow. He should have gone straight away. So she's talking about Monday night. If he got sick Monday night, if he was sick beyond 3 or 4 hours, pain everywhere, man, just as well lead everything. Yep.
I finally was able to get him settled down and sleeping, and then it just got progressively worse and worse. And then Tuesday night, I got him to not puke as much, but then we woke up this morning and it was like he still couldn't open his eyes.
If he couldn't open his eyes, I would have had an ambulance there. Child can't get a job. He has to take care of their child. As soon as it went past Tuesday lunchtime, I would have been, with his history, I would have been in a panic a lot earlier.
So we were like, okay, something is really wrong here. We literally need to go to the doctor. And so we called it.
Look, Ren's just appeared. We are praying for you, Katie. And then says, I hope all 3 of you can get some rest tonight. Ren's there. I want to know why she's not bringing up her COVID shot. I think she faked it. She brings up COVID. She brings up her COVID experience later, Silly Crow. There's still another 80 minutes to go.
neurologist and neurosurgeon this morning, and they coordinated everything. And big ups to and big hats off to the amazing teams that we have, because they worked so well together from two separate hospitals to get all of this done so that we could stay out of the adult hospital. We were able to go to a children's hospital that doesn't have COVID. So it was just like
what, a hospital didn't have COVID? I think everyone deserves me time. I am sick now too. I hope he starts feeling better ASAP. Her son was sick on Monday night, but Kato was still tweeting at 11:30 p.m. Monday night. Wait, still, the first time it happened, she should have been at the hospital, even if she's too stupid to go with the vomiting and the headache, not being to open the eyes. That's right. In fact, I would have called an ambulance, because he could have actually gone into coma, because remember the fluid of the brain, the fluid wasn't draining, so the brain was getting dehydrated. So it would have been very serious.
way less stressful in that respect. Yeah, it's hard having a sick little one. And all he wants, does anyone else have a kid and when they're sick, they only want you, Mom?
What are you doing there then? Why is she trying sympathy for super chats? Sad her son was sick. She does. The only thing she's diarrhea of the mouth. Doesn't she get it once a month? Once a mum, always a mum. Yes, the shunt problems. The shunt problems would have been. Oh dear. Okay, home taking daughters. What a stupid question. I know a couple was like that, and the mum was as cold and stuff. The dad passed away, and she gave it. Oh, that's sad, Claire.
I think, he was, after they reprogrammed his shunt and he got some medication, he was actually looking at his iPad and interested in his iPad. So
she said at the start they thought it was the iPad that could have had been the magnetic field that caused the shunt to jump out of place. What's the first thing they give him? His iPad.
So we just have to get him hydrated. He was so dehydrated. He got an IV this afternoon, so that was good. I did 8 ounces of water and 8 ounces of, or whatever that Kate Farms is. I need to reset. Yeah, I'll have to reset the volume so that it goes. I want it to run all night. Okay, so it's not going to be that intense. No. Okay. Sorry. We're talking about feeding tubes.
So she's going to feed him all night. Is that what she was saying? 2 college exams when my child was sick. The college was super understanding, gave me new exams. So that was cool. I agree. It's like they never bonded. Why? Nobody can ask questions. Someone says here, LOL, felt better and went straight back to the iPad. I have so many questions.
So, because he has to get fed.
What, all night?
My son gets toys from Daddy from when we have surgery too. That's funny. That was a cute comment. Talia says, actually, since Mom was with me during shunt surgery as a kid, I would wake up and ask Daddy, and he would buy me a toy every time. Yes, Rachel says, yes, my kids cling to me like glue. Leah says, yes. Maria says, yes. Yes, getting hydrated. Cleo, he has a lot of diagnoses. I'm a single mom, and I only have one 16-and-a-half-year-old son. He has type 1 diabetes. He won't let his dad come visit him when he's sick.
Hi, Kim. Well, I'm wondering whether the nurse today will do a mandatory report, because I think I feel, in my honest opinion, to make a child suffer for that long, I think is not very good. Okay, thank you for barely keeping the child alive. Aren't you just a super mum? iPad isn't the babysitter or the parent, it's a tool. Gee, what would you have done if iPads weren't around? I never had iPads to entertain my children. Phones came out when my son was a toddler, but, how would she have coped? Had to draw and play with cars and read books and go outside and play. But yeah, I just wonder whether the nurse would make a report. He has been sick all week and didn't. He was sick for 3 days, Kim. He would have been in tremendous pain. She said yesterday they had a nurse come in, the first time the nurse had been in 6 days. So we can only speculate that the nurse has come in and said, you've got to take him to hospital. So iPad is the baby's. Nurses have to report stuff like that, though, because it's neglect. Well, yes, that's what I think they would have to do. Just look at her sitting up there, people paying attention to her like she's their queen. Why don't people realise? My mum was the most attentive when we were sick as kids. Must have faked it a time or two for that. Well, yes, I'm sure my kids did too, because they got to sleep in my bed with me as well for a little bit.
Sick. Type 1 diabetes. Blood sugar is so stressful. We have to test our blood sugar because my son is naturally hypoglycemic. So we have to monitor his blood sugars constantly when he's sick. He does have a feeding tube, but it's a good thing, not a bad thing. He doesn't take very much by mouth. He can eat some things, but not a lot. Ugh. Courtney says, I'm a 2B neuro special needs mama. My son has a rare disorder called pecan. Aww.
You've got it. I think her nurses are finally starting to realise that something is wrong with her. KJ reminds me of my mum. It's about her all the time. Do you think a nurse was actually there? She lies so much about them. I never know when to believe them or not. About that blood sugar. Why does she say we have to monitor our blood sugar? It's not we. And don't forget, if he had a hypoglycemia, if it was too low, he could have lost consciousness. So some of the symptoms are clamminess, dizziness. So, it could have been a combination of stuff. But
Neuro mamas. When you're in a neuro unit and you're around other moms that have kids with shunts and like...
Kim says, I'm a nurse, a mum, and a grandma. A child who has medical health problems, then why didn't she get him in on Monday? Crazy. We don't know, Kim. That is the question that we have. Particularly when he couldn't keep anything down, he had severe migraines and none of the medication was working. So, yeah.
Because if you're in a neuro unit, we go to a special hospital for it. Like moms of kids that have shunts, they like all are like, they get each other. It's like moms that have kids that have hearts. problems, it's the same thing. Like, you all just like, you're like connected somehow because your kids are struggling and you go through the same struggles, and not the same, but obviously. He was a preemie. Yep. No, my husband and I aren't separated. No. Not separated. He was born at 35 weeks. He has so many diagnoses, it'd be like too much to even talk about right now. It all stems from his brain. She was born at 5.5 months. Wow, that's early. Your daughter and you have epilepsy. We know our way around a neuro floor. But seriously, aren't neuro nurses the best? I love our neuro nurses. They are literally the best. They're the best. The kids have to have brain surgery. They have to have, like a lot of the kids when we're on the unit, they have wires coming out of their brains because they're either doing like EEGs or they have like wires coming out of the brain, testing their like pressures in their heads. And so the nurses have to like keep them occupied, and they're just so sweet. They go above and beyond for the kids, and it's amazing, especially at the hospital we go to.
If it's a children's hospital, that's what they're trained to do. They're trained to do with kids like that. They are amazing. Okay, I have to ask, how many drugs have she done before this? I have no idea. It's their job, says Busy Bee. Yes, it's their job. And they've got good practice. They do it every day. I wonder if that's why Claire Paul V has to suffer enough. Okay, you're a piece of crap. You don't care about your child at all. Has to come back to you somehow way. How, everything, no matter what, you'll make you sick, says Tia. She's so sensitive to listeners talking about wires coming out of babies' brains.
With the kids, they get on the floor with the kids. It's like, man, the nurses on the neuro unit that we go to are amazing. And I will say, like, when he had heart surgery, our cardiac intensive care, like, nurses, they were phenomenal. They are saints. Tonight we had an amazing ER nurse, so or an ED nurse. Nurses in general are just awesome. Hyperhidrosis. I've never heard of that. I'm not a single mom. I was reading somebody's comment that said she was a single mom of someone that has a 16-and-a-half-year-old. Teacher April said, I'm a single mom. I have one 16-and-a-half-year-old son. He has type 1 diabetes. I was reading April's comment. And then Teacher April says, my bestie is a neuro nurse and she is amazing. Oh, yes, we have great endocrine nurses too. Let's just say that all nurses are amazing. They are.
What about the ones that come to your house? I don't know. Why does she keep saying out and it's her son that is going through it, not her? She said they had the most amazing nurse, ED nurse. Got to talk like she won't say. And the thing about children's hospitals or nurses that work with children or pediatrics, the pediatric nurses, is that they really want to be there. They really want to work with the kids. That's their calling as far as nursing is concerned. It's specialised. I remember when my son had his tonsils out, and tonsils and adenoids out, and they wanted to give him the medicine, and he didn't like it. And I was staying in the bed next to him, and they actually chased. He jumped out of the bed and was running around the ward to try and avoid them. And so they actually set up an obstacle course for him so they could catch him to give him his medication. But rather than going, you've got to have your medicine, they went, no, we're going to turn this into a game. And so in the middle of the night, we're playing this silly game. They were amazing. I said to, and I'm apologizing, like I'm going, I'm really sorry. And they go, you know what? We have kids that do this all the time. And they said, and we actually love it because it's a bit of fun for us. So, yeah. I know. Well, didn't she say one time that she knew more than the doctors?
I grew up having to go to Aggie said she had to go to every specialist with a name. After every appointment, my dad would always get me ice cream. Aw. Nurses are amazing. Blood vessels burst at birth, causing hydrocephalus. In preemies, that can happen. For my son, that's not what caused his hydrocephalus. He was just born with it. So hopefully we'll get everything feeling better tomorrow. Big props to I know, nurses in the hospital, man, they're awesome. They become like your friends. Oh, I know, NICU nurses, PICU nurses. Like, is there a nurse that's not good? We've had some not great nurses in our house. And we've had some not great nurses at the hospital, but in general, most of the nurses are great. Our nurse tonight was amazing.
She got $50 and then $20 so far. I think she deletes the next two. Did I hear her say no? No, somebody else's. She just read someone's comment, totally clueless, and said somebody's comment was somebody else. She just wants to be their friends.
So big ups to all the RNs, CNAs, and the nurse that did his IV line was so quick. Yeah.
Because they're trained in it. They're trained to deal on children. They're trained to do it fast, quick, accurate, so not to scare the child.
It's amazing. People that are in the healthcare industry, especially right now. Our poor nurse at the hospital said she's had COVID and has had the vaccine. Like, I just keep thinking of all the nurses in the hospital that have probably had to go through COVID. It's amazing. It's neat to see all of you guys sharing your experiences. I always forget that I must have a lot of moms like me that are in there.
Moms like her. Mrs. don't have to put up with. When you hear her telling about the experience, you think she was at a party. Dump them. It's their job. That's right. So there's lots of mums like her. Does Rick have pillows? I haven't seen Rick. I'm hoping he's got pillows in the corner. Mums like her. Well, based on the way she's talking, I was a really bad mother. That's the way she's talking.
Had to have emergency spine surgery, she says, when I was in a hospital for almost a week earlier this month. I can tell they were stressed out, but were so attentive and amazing. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you had that experience. Aggie's sister is an emergency room technician and in school for nursing right now. Yeah, nursing is intense, isn't it? It's intense. But especially now, there's such a massive shortage. Oh, thank you for your super chat, Kay.
Oh, no, not this one. There must be another one. So that's another $5. Just going to send Rick a message to see whether he can come here, whether he's going to be here. And so, Rick, the chat wants you to get your butt here. So I've just messaged him. Where's this Tia? Why's she been so nice? Who the hell is this person? I know. It's bizarre, isn't it?
He is finally
getting here we go. How long are you going to have the same haircut, and why would you only put eyebrows on and nothing else? Freak. That $5 chat's bye-bye. Can you see it? Man, I'll just hide this for you so you can all read it. Can you all see it? Because it's going to go.
Yes. Finally. Oh. Huh. That's a funny question. All right.
Message deleted. Did you see that? Just got deleted. No.
It's intense.
There you go. Message deleted. I believe
I'm
they
gonna
can
have the same haircut until my hair grows out.
I believe that they can request their money back. If the message gets deleted, I believe you can ask for a refund. So what are we up to? We're up to 75. So if you include that, that's 80. It'll be 85 by the end of it, I think.
Oh, thank you for your super chat, Kay. He is finally getting some rest. Yes. Finally. Oh. Huh. That's a funny question. All right. Well, I'm going to have the same haircut until my hair grows out. Right now, I'm still dealing with losing all my hair.
All right, now we're going to get the coded story.
It is a very stressful time to be a nurse. I'm convinced that last year when I got really sick, my son and I had COVID. And it was after then that I started losing all my hair, which I thought was from damage to my and stress, but I don't know.
No. Oh, Rick's moving, so he's been packing. See, I told you I'd give him a call. I'd contact him. Hey, Rick, you have got a pile of people who are trying to fit into your corner. They're trying to all squeeze into your corner. Hello, queer tight. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name. All right, everyone, get your drink orders in. Drinks and pillows. First case of COVID in Minnesota was March of 2020. Now she's admitting to hair loss. I thought it was just a widow's peak. Hello, Amy. So, Amy, she's trying to say that she had COVID and her hair fell out. Need a bigger corner, says Pia. Vera is fine? Okay, Vera, thank you. I apologize.
I was an ER nurse. She can't. Oh, her mom used to volunteer to help people when they're injured. Now it would be hard to turn off your nursing hat, you know? Really hard to turn off your nursing hat. For sure. So hard to turn off the nursing hat. Aren't you like once a nurse, always a nurse? Oh, Alyssa says pediatric nurse here. I love it. We love you, Alyssa. Ashley says she's graduating with her BSN in spring 2022. She can't wait to start her nursing career. I love that. Rachel had septic shock 3 years ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I lost so much hair last year, and it was right after I got really sick. And now I think it could have been from COVID because my hair was just like falling out. So I'm dealing with the overgrowth or the outgrowth or whatever you call it. And I haven't gone to the hair salon in a hot minute. So eventually I'll get.
I thought but you've been to the beauty salon, right? What's the difference between beauty and hair? I know the answer.
Ooh, dialysis nurse. Awesome. Awesome job, Andrea. Love all the nurses out there. It's like, I'm sure there's days where being a nurse feels like a thankless job, especially when you're dealing with patients.
Hi, Renelle. Yes, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Which is why I wondered about the sad fishing. Because, yeah, it's very nice when she wants the money. Hello, Renelle. Renelle has her own channel, so check out Renelle if you'd like to watch some more stuff. She got a fix of extra attention in the hospital, a pile of pillows. Punching bag. Might have to take bookings, Rick. She lost her hair because she was getting sued. Well, I thought she lost her hair because of the stress of the lawsuit. Claimed it was from, yeah, she did. So why doesn't she ever praise the nurses who look after her son? Oh dear. The beauty salon just can't do anything for someone like KJ. Oh dear. Oh. The day isn't wholesome. Vera says this was rough. Okay, well, we'll have to see what happens when KJ gets the second vaccine. Yeah, keep up the good work, Renelle. Lawsuit, bleach, dye, take your pick. She said it all. Tia, you're going for the big heavy stuff, eh? Cool.
That are unhappy, not feeling well, angry, agitated. I always feel like emergency room nurses must deal with so much crap, especially in adult EDs, because I think of all of the people that must come in that are like really intoxicated and off the wall. Like, we were in a emergency room, in an adult emergency room with my son like last year, and there was this man that was really drunk, and he was being so belligerent and he was being so abusive to the staff, and I was like, that must be so hard to have to deal with. They must.
I used to work as a gymnastics coach, and the children were lovely, but the parents were horrible. I'd also say that nurses in pediatric wards would also say that some parents were horrible, particularly if they thought that you weren't looking after their child properly. Toxic drug people came to her mind first as Amy. People like you who think they know it all and won't shut the F up, says Tia. This is KJ. Just ask your subscribers you treat them like that on the daily, says Tamara. We will have the best equipped corner ever. Yay, says Silly Crow. So KJ was towed drunk in the ER, says Claire Murphy. If you haven't seen Crystal Bill's latest, she's done one on Toad, which is a very interesting one, about an interview and Toad talks about the birth of V, and he gets very emotional talking about it. Like, when he's telling the story, you can actually see that he's literally affected. And the reason why there was such a big gap in the release of the album is he felt that he couldn't produce music with his son so ill. It's very interesting. Check it out. I sort of shows Toad with a heart, actually. some great creators wake up in the morning and start kicking together. Yes, thank you, Heidi.
To deal with that all of the time, and I was like, gosh, the guy was so drunk.
It looked like he was drinking too. Yes, it was. But yeah, that's so. Crystal, Bill, and Renelle are the two to check out.
Like screaming and yelling, and he like didn't have his shirt on, and I'm like, oh, these poor nurses that have to deal with this. Yes, thank you to all of the nurses. I would guess psychiatric nurses too. That would be a challenging one as well. Oh, her brother has spina bifida and hydrocephalus, and one of his shunts failed after 30 years. Yes. Wow. Well, I'm glad he's feeling better now. Oh, that's sweet. Some ER nurses made Allison's 18th birthday night amazing and gave her gifts. That's cute. I love that.
Yes, Busy Bee, I think you're right. She's looking for super chats from our healthcare staff, definitely. Particularly when she deleted the last one and probably is not going to get it.
I would think that would, oh. My brother. Another thing is that nurses who have to deal with like people that are like really, whether they're like having like a psychotic break or a severe like mental illness like episode and they get physical, I like think of like how some of these nurses just get they get beat up.
So we've got 3 minutes to go, fortunately, guys. All right, see ya. Totally close this. Have a good day.
I'm like, and that's their job. That would be so hard. I know the nurses that are nurses at like our neurology clinic or our neuropsych clinic, like neurosurgery clinic, they have to lift patients that are like completely unable to move. That would also be so hard. Like if your job was to do lifting of like really like a full adult people that are other
nurses do lifting all the time.
That are like a lot of the hospital we go to, the kids can have like cerebral palsy or different things like muscular dystrophy, various neurological disorders where they can't move, and like the moving the kids is as they get larger, it gets so hard for them. Your best friend is a psych nurse and she's had a broken arm and nose broken multiple times. She is a saint. Wow. Hats off to her. Your mom was punched and hit by patients. She was a retired psych nurse. Yeah, that must be hard. That's got to be hard. Wow, the psych nurses getting so beat up.
Commentator order that. It could be the lady herself. Hello, KJ. Hello, Katie. I know you don't like being called KJ. We are trained and they have security for disturbances and moving a mobile patient. There are tools to help lift and turn. I was a theatre nurse, so patient was anaesthetised and we didn't have to deal with problematic relatives like this idiot. I bet she's a nightmare. When my dad was in his life, I was just asking all these questions because I'm curious. I like to find things out. So I was asking because he has the defibrillated pacemaker, and so I'm asking all these questions. There's always one or two dislikes. KJ always wake up to watch and dislike. Yes, but she takes my advice. That's the thing that's amazing. She does what I say. And she takes my advice. Oh, dear.
Our cat is like in my medicine container and my husband's going to save them.
The cat's in the medicine container, people. The cat is in the medicine container. Me personally, I'd be snuggling with my baby after all her and be through the day showering him with attention. Yes, I know, Renelle. That's what I can't believe. That she's not sitting there with him. So if the meds to calm them down to make them easy to move, what needs to be done? Catherine, I wonder if she gave out to them putting the wrong name on it. Hello, Aunt Lizzie. The cat is in the medicine cabinet.
From him so that he doesn't get any right now. So, anyways, I am going to get going. Thank you guys for giving me a space to just chat with you and say hello. I've missed you. I hope you guys have a good night. Do me a favor and give me some thumbs up before you go. And thank you guys for those of you that gave super chats. That was so sweet of you. I'm hoping tomorrow I can get back to regularly scheduled programming and hoping my kiddo feels better. But again, to all the nurses and support staff and all of you guys that are working with patients that are...
Okay, that comment says, looking good, Groucho Marx. Thanks for the money, yeah. Bud wants his laptop. He's kicking me out, sitting in his office in the morning, so don't wake him. Now I'll hop onto the... Right, see you. Yes, he is. He's carrying. He is carrying it. He is.
Terminally ill.
Well, let me take that back.
Thank you guys for giving me a space to just chat with you and say hello. I've missed you. I hope you guys have a good night. Do me a favor and give me some thumbs up before you go. And thank you guys for those of you that gave super chats. That was so sweet of you. I'm hoping tomorrow I can get back to regularly scheduled. And thank you guys for those of you that gave super chats. That was so sweet of you. I'm hoping tomorrow I can get back.
There you go. I got it stopped. She talks like she was gone. She does talk like she was gone. She talks as if she's been away for ages. You wouldn't know that she did not make a video in a day. What exactly was not her normal for the current day? He's carrying it like a baby. He is carrying it like a baby. It is his baby, isn't it? I missed your money is what she went.
Regularly scheduled programming and hoping my kiddo feels better. But again, to all the nurses and support staff and all of you guys that are working with patients that are either terminally ill or chronically ill or just in a hospital, thank you so much. And I'm so glad you're here. You guys are awesome.
delete, and off. Be with my child just getting back from the hospital. What is wrong with her? Laughing, having a great time. I need a swim pillow. And my mum will come running to my side if I get her or rush to hospital. All mums do, no matter how old their babies get. Except the nurses that are in my home. That's right, Renelle. And she's gone. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, we're going to get back to religious people wearing pants from it. So, by the way, my cute's okay. So, there you go. That was the live today. That was the live that she did. I mean, it was unbelievable. Same with me. I think most mums will do that too. Even if I say that my mum's still recovering from her broken ankle, but she would ring me a million times in a day to make sure that I was all right. I mean, look, I understand he's probably sleeping, but I wouldn't be on the phone. In fact, I would be having a shower and freshening myself up. My daughter wanted to phone. I said no. Following day, she came out of her room with chicken pox, said she was sick. She drew pots on her face and they're clever, aren't they? They're very clever, aren't they? Oh, well, you know what, Silly Crow? I've actually watched that twice. It's the second time I've watched that now. And it wasn't better. It wasn't any better the second time either, I have to tell you. It was not any better the second time. What I generally find is things harder to watch the second time. There was something I was going to look up before. I thought, I've got to look such and such up, and then I forgot about it. There you go. It wasn't important, was it? This camera is really having trouble with my eyes. So, people need parenting classes before kids. Well, yeah. Can't remember what I was going to look up. It was something important too. Oh no, that's okay, Renelle. Thank you for popping in and saying hello. Hopefully, can get you a few more subscribers and watchers. Thank you. So do you think that she spent the day yes, the TikToker blocked her from an interview. That's right, I heard that. I read that on the Instagram page. She's the person from TikTok had some emails and had some messages and decided they really just wanted to they didn't want to work to somebody's agenda. That they wanted to tell their own story. They weren't going to play to anybody's agenda. So, and we know that there was an agenda. So, yeah. No pad, no phones, no computers, nothing. Old technology. Yeah. So, everybody, I'm going to go now. 2 hours and 20 minutes. 2 hours 19. So, I want to thank you all for joining me. It's really appreciated. I know I say thank you every single night, but I'm just always blown away by the number of people that watch me. When I was at school in year 11, I actually was told by a teacher that I'd never be any good at anything and that nobody would want to listen to me. So this sort of blows me away. So I get really emotional over it because I cannot believe that you guys come and join me. Well, thank you for my eye color. I know that's what happens when I wear contacts. I actually had to stop wearing contacts at one point because people would stop me in the street and talk about my eyes. And like I'd have all these strangers talking about me, stopping me in the street. So, and I'm sorry I keep rubbing them. I actually don't, I haven't worn them for a while and my eyes are a bit dry. You are, thank you, River. We showed them, yes. High school teachers, yes, but, you know, I was a vulnerable age and I believed it. I mean, a lot of my stage fright with my music comes from that. So I actually get stage fright and I have a lot of self-esteem issues. And it all stems back to that year. I actually failed the year. I had to repeat that year because it just ate away at me. Oh, and now because I'm crying, so thank you. I wasn't going to cry. I wasn't going to cry. All right. So thank you, everybody. I better go before I ruin my eyes. And you shouldn't do that with contacts. Anyway, I want to thank you all again. So just a reminder, I won't be around on Saturday night for a live or your Saturday morning. I actually am going away for a weekend with the choir. So that's going to be exciting, but I'll be back Sunday. Okay, and now I can't see anything because everything's blurry. So thank you very much.